Good morning, everybody. We're going to get the call started in about 1 or 2 minutes. Want to welcome everybody to our final good morning call this week.
Good morning to you, Mr. On, and all team members. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. 11 a.m. in the East Coast. I guess afternoon always for the East Coast people. 10 a.m. for all the people in Central Time. 8 a.m. I feel great. I feel like I'm already fully recovered. And
Good morning, GPS family.
good morning, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. We're about to get the call started. Our final good morning call with Mr. Danny Bay. What a great week it has been, getting wisdom every single day from him to start off the day and start off the afternoon for all of you guys in the East Coast. Good morning. We'll get the call started very soon, the moment Mr. Danny Bay starts it.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, sir. Someone said aloha, aloha, 5 a.m. in Maui. Good morning, guys. What a champion.
Oahu.
Oha, ooh. Good morning, too.
Aloha, Michael.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Aloha.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Somebody said it in Korean, huh?
Oh, yes.
Good morning.
Out of the DC market.
In Japanese, they say Ohio gozaimasu.
That was Japanese. Well, good morning. Appreciate all of you too. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. 5 a.m. Hawaii, 8 a.m. here in the West Coast, 10 a.m. in Central Time, and good afternoon to everybody in the East Coast. I believe I see our chairman now on it. So, guys, like I said, what a great week this has been, having a chance to start every morning with Mr. Danny Bay. But, today is our final day for our good morning call in. You guys have to understand how busy Mr. Danny Bay is, running 3 countries, finally being back to spend time with his family. But because he cares about all of us and he wants us to have the greatest month, he's doing this good morning call for all of us. So let's get ready to take some notes and help me welcome to the call our chairman and founder, Mr. Danny Bay. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Well, great to see everybody. Hope everybody is doing great, and always great to see all your faces. And you're right, like Mr. Michael said, Hawaii, it's like 5 a.m. It's pretty crazy. Many of you from Hawaii joined us every day this week. That's tremendous. It's incredible. I've enjoyed my time with with many of you every morning this week, and today's our last call. So I want to share a couple thoughts and be able to answer a lot of you guys' questions. And it's been a pretty it's been a great week. It's been a exciting week. Our business is going up everywhere in all 3 markets, which is very exciting. With the time difference, working with Japan and Korea office, I've been literally up till 5 a.m. Every day this week working. So this whole week was straight, literally sleeping 2 to 2.5 hours a day this whole week. So it's been a little crazy week, but it's exciting. So one of the VR devices that we're working on for possibly next year. We've been doing a lot of testing and prototype and a lot of meetings. And last night I was even looking at some of their future generation designs last night with our manufacturer company last night, executives. So it was pretty exciting last night. I mean, it was like, I was a little tired at 3 a.m., but like when I got the picture and we started talking about what they were planning to do to the device and what they were planning to do to our future devices, you know, like next year and next couple years down the road. I mean, it was pretty exciting. And also, you know, I'm spending a lot of time with a lot of the leaders. You know, in all 3 countries, I've spent a lot of time with leadership team from Japan, as well as Korea, as well as America, last few days and even yesterday, and spending a lot of time with Mr. Wu from Korea. And he's so fired up. I mean, he is just so fired up. I told you, month 5, last one, he had 2,004 people join his team. The month before, month 4, he had 1,700 people join his team. And now, you know, he's been in the business for 5 months. Now he's got already over 20,000 people, over 20,000 people in his team. And I just wish all of you either spoke Korean or he spoke English, because I love to have him share, you know, a lot of his experiences and thoughts with all of you, because I want to say, I don't know about you, I want to see every single one of you with team of 10,000, 20,000 plus. I mean, don't you guys think that's a good idea? I saw Mr. Robert Griffin with thumbs up. You know, I think, you know, it gets fun when you have 20,000 people in your team. It gets fun when you have 10,000 people in your team. It gets fun when you have 100,000 people in his team. So, you know, he's just so fired up, you know, but he's just talking about, yesterday he was talking to a lot of the leaders about consistency. And when he comes down to consistency, he says, you know, it's promoting happens with consistency. He said keywords of whatever you want to promote, keywords of whatever you're talking about. He said you want to make sure that you're doing it, you're promoting it consistently. And you want to, you know, a lot of people don't get it. You know, he said a lot of people have thick skull and it doesn't go through. So a lot of people's ears are dirty. It doesn't go through. So you gotta, you know, whatever you want to promote, whatever you want to teach, whatever culture you want to create. He said, you gotta say it over and over and over and over, and the repetition over and over and over. And that's how it's gonna get through. He says, you know, there's such a power in repetition and consistency. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know? Just think of it like this: a rock that if you and I tried to punch, you know, probably crack our hand. You know, like, you know, a rock that is strong enough to, you know, break anything that we see around here. You know, but something that we think is not that powerful and not that strong, pretty weak, water. Just think about a little water drop, you know, little water drop on a rock. We would think, okay, obviously rock's more powerful than water. I mean, water, you and I could, you know, I mean, if there's water here, you could just go like this and, we could wipe them off, or, you know, we would think there is not much power. You know, you could just pretty much spread them out and destroy them very easy, you know. But if there's a rock and just drop of water, doesn't seem powerful, but drop of water just keeps consistently a drop of water being dropped on a rock on the same spot over and over. You know what happens? What happens? It would literally create a hole through the rock, you know, and I mean, it's crazy, right? And we think that it's you know, when you say something, when you promote something, when you think something, it's not that powerful. But I'm telling you, if you are consistent, if you're consistent, and if it's the repetition over and over and over again. How many of you want everybody in your team to be positive? Anybody? How many of you want your team to think big? How many of you want everybody in your team to be productive? How many of you want everybody in your team to develop leadership? How many of you want everybody in your team to have better communication skills? How many want everybody in your team to recruit better, get more customers, get better customers? How many of you want everybody in your team to master sales? You know, whatever it may be, key is, that's what Mr. Wu was talking about yesterday with many of these leaders yesterday. Said, you got to decide what you want, and it doesn't matter if you feel like you're getting results with what you're talking about and promoting and talking about and thinking about and promoting today. It doesn't matter if feels like you said something. You guys ever feel that way? You got people in your team and you say something like, do they hear what I said? Like, you know, you said something certain way and literally they turn around and they say something the opposite. He said, it doesn't matter if you feel like what you're doing today doesn't give you results right away. He said, if you could stay consistent and repetition over and over of you repeating what you want, you repeating, talking about how you want it to be done, how you want things to be done. He said, if you could repeat consistently, doesn't seem like nothing's happening with one time, but repeat consistently, water drop could literally go through a rock. And your words, your thoughts, and your consistency and could literally go out there and completely change people's behavior and change the culture of your team, change the activities of your team. Does that make sense to you? You know, today I want to talk to you mainly about creating a culture within your team. You know, Mr. Jim Rohn talked about how important it is to make a decision, but from there, not just making a decision, but take action according to that decision. But key of creating success is not just the decision, not just the action, but doing it long enough where it becomes habit. He said, you know, in the beginning, you're making the decision, but later on, decision that you made and the actions you have taken would determine your habits. And you know that habits could change, right? You could have certain eating habits. You could have certain different habits, but you could change. Now, is it easy to change? No, it's not easy to change. But if you could consistently repeat intentionally, you could pretty much reprogram your subconscious. You know, because the truth of the matter is, here's how I believe it, and this is the reason why culture is so important. The reason I believe that so many people want to be successful, they talk about being successful, they set goals, they set dreams. The reason I believe, the reason they never achieve it is because they don't understand the fact that their activities and their behaviors will always be dictated, be determined, and be influenced by not their decision making, not their conscious, but it will be determined by their subconscious. Does it make sense? You know, people at the end of the day are driven by their subconscious, and whatever their subconscious drives them to do is what they end up doing. And people want to make a decision and want to go out there and change their lives, but they can't because it's their subconscious that's going to drive their behaviors, their activities, their thoughts all the time. Somebody can make a decision right now to think positive right now, but if their subconscious is pushing negative thoughts all day long, yeah, they were maybe positive for a minute, but they're going to be very negative for the rest of the day. Does that make sense? You know, if somebody can make a decision right now to be productive for one minute, but if their subconscious is driving them to be lazy, they're going to be lazy pretty much the rest of the day. So how do you become successful? How do you become successful? You got to make a decision, but you got to consistently repeat consciously. So here's what, in a simple term, here's what you have to do. You're gonna do what your subconscious make you do. So guess what? Consciously, you have to reprogram your subconscious. Consciously, you have to reprogram subconscious. That pretty much is you reprogramming your habits. And it does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a couple of days. Some studies say that if you consistently do something, repeatedly do something for 21 days, it creates new habits. Some studies say that. Some studies says it takes 90 days. You know, so I don't know. I don't know if it takes 21 days. I don't know if it takes 90 days. But here's what I know. If I got bad habits, I want to replace them with good habits. And to me, it doesn't matter if it takes 21 days or 90 days or 180 days. I'm going to consciously reprogram myself, consciously input into my subconscious every day and make the effort multiple times a day, not once, multiple times a day, consciously input into my subconscious enough and long enough until my subconscious changes, or my habits are driving me to do what I have to do. You know, once again, I'm going to bring up people like Mr. Steve Hyun and Mr. David Nieves as an example. They probably got their subconscious, got them in a place where it's a habit for them to physically work out. It's a habit for them. How many of you think about working out, think about being healthy, want to work out, but never work out? Anybody? you want to work out. You're like, oh man, you know, maybe I should spend a little bit of time at the gym, or maybe go walking or whatever. You want to work out, you want to be healthier, you think about it, but you never do. Anybody? Anybody else? Is it just me? Anybody else? You know, like Jared, yeah, consistency is challenged, but once you get it in the habit, now you may not believe it, but back in high school, I used to actually love working. You know why? Because we did it every day. We did it every day. Because we did certain workout every day, I still remember it didn't matter if I was done with, you know, work or schoolwork, whatever. There were points in my life where it was a habit for me, and it didn't matter if it was midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I would have a hard time going to bed without doing it. Even if I would just get down and give 10 minutes of push-ups or sit-ups or, you know, stretching or whatever. If I didn't do it, I would have a hard time going to bed. Why? Because it became a habit for me. And, you know, and some of you are every day, it's a habit for you because your subconscious is driving you. Like, you have to do it. You have to do it. And so, and that's what you want to do. And we're talking about habits because your habits, you have to personally, consciously reprogram your subconscious. But how do you create a team? How do you create a team of 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people? How do you create a team of a lot of people to change their habits? From being lazy to being productive, from being negative to being positive, from not getting customers to getting a lot of customers, from not being able to recruit a lot, right? You know, and from not making money to making a lot of money. I just read a thing a couple hours ago. He says, hey, choose your friends wisely. If 5 of your friends are positive, guess what? You spend long enough and enough time with them, you will be the 6th positive person. It says that if 5 of your friends are rich, you spend enough time with them and you let them influence you, and you let their habits become your habits, you'll be the 6th rich person. You know, if 5 of your friends that you spend time with every day smoke, there's a good chance sooner or later, either you're not going to hang out with them or you're going to smoke. You know, if 5 of your friends are, making $5,000 a month and you spend the majority of your time with them and your habits, you pick up habits from them, there's a good chance you're going to be making $5 grand a month. If 5 of your friends make $50,000 a month, you spend enough time with them, let them influence you, and you reprogram your subconscious to do the activities. I'm telling you, you're maybe $50,000 a month, or you may be the 6th $50,000 a month earner. So, so how does that happen? How does that happen? It's culture. It's that, it's you have to consciously make a decision to reprogram your subconscious, input into your subconscious, because your subconscious is going to drive you. But how do you do it for the team? How do you do it for the team? You do it for the team by you simply going out there and creating a culture. Once it becomes a culture, and that's where you want it to be. And once it becomes a culture, it's just what everybody does. People do what the culture makes them do a lot more than what you teach them to do. Give you an example. I was born and raised in Korea. I've been in the United States for 23 years. And what's amazing is majority of the people, like I could tell you, majority of Korean parents would teach their kids patience, just like we would teach our kids, patience. Teach them patience, and take your time and do it right. I mean, every parent in Korea teach patience. But almost every single Korean person don't have patience. they don't have patience. Oh, somebody's phone's ringing. They don't have patience, and there's such a fast mentality. I mean, fast society. I mean, everybody wants everything done right now. It's like, it's just, and it's crazy. I mean, think about it. Somebody will go, you ever done anything like this? Somebody wants, they don't have enough time to go sit at a restaurant and eat. So they go to fast food, drive-through. They want to go fast food, drive-through. But if they see more than 3 cars waiting in line, they leave. You ever done anything like that? Like you want fast food, more than 3 cars. Like we got no patience, man. I mean, we teach patience and people got no patience. You know why? Yeah, nobody tells people, hey, be impatient, man. Like nobody was taught to be impatient, but it's the culture. It's the culture. If the culture is negative, then it's going to be hard for you not to be negative unless you understand the game of consciously inputting and depositing and repeatedly, consistently, consciously inputting what you want to reprogram your subconscious. But for your team, you got to create a culture. If you create a culture, do you know that I've seen teams, listen carefully. I've seen teams, every person that joins that team, boom, everybody gets promoted. Every person that joins that team, everybody's productive. I've seen teams where literally somebody joining and first month getting 2-level promotions. Every person that joins literally turns into 10 and 20 and 50 people in their team in the first 30, 60 days. And it happens to almost everybody that's active in the team. But I also see a team where majority of people, they were fired up, they joined. They're excited, they talk a lot, they're excited, they show up to Zoom, but they're not productive. People don't get promoted. People don't get paid. People don't get customers. What's the difference? It's the culture. And the culture is determined by you. And so it's just very simple process that I really, really want everybody to get. It's deposit. What are you depositing? And who's depositing more? Are they hearing more of your conscious input, your deposit, your habits, your culture input in them more? Or are they hearing more of their regular culture? Can we agree the majority of people are their subconscious is pushing them to be not productive. You know, a lot of people are not used to generating and creating new results every day, of course. But if you could deposit more, if you could input more, if you could influence more, if you could show more, if you could lead by example more, with your words, with your thoughts, with your behaviors, and with your attitude and your daily habits and your daily activities, and you create the culture. You create the culture because not it's just you doing it. It's not just 2 of you doing it. It's 5 of you, 10 of you, 20 of you, 30 of you, daily making a decision to change our habits and change our culture. And you put a plan together for next 3 months, 6 months. It's not one person, but multiple people in your team changing your habits together. That creates culture. If you know that in a negative way, when everybody else is doing it, that's what people want to do. You guys know that that's how people are. People want to do what everybody else does. People are generally followers. And because of it, how you create a culture is you get everybody in your team to do it, then everybody that joins the team, they just do it because everybody else does it. And that's a very easy way of explaining it. That's how you create culture. But to get to that point, it starts with you consciously deciding to change your subconscious by consistency, repetition of doing what you want done. Does that make sense to you? I know it's a very simple topic, but it's a topic that, a lot of times that we just simply don't spend enough time thinking about. And because of it, we let our subconscious, we lose to our subconscious. You just remember, in summing this thing up and moving on, your subconscious will drive you to decide. You got to decide, are you going to influence and determine how your subconscious is going to be? Or are you just going to let current subconscious drive you and, make you do what you do? And if you want your life to be better, you got to reprogram your subconscious. You got to input. You got to consciously make decisions to change your subconscious, which will determine your habits, which more people doing it in your team will determine the culture of your team. Hopefully it wasn't boring to you. To me, this is so important. If somebody asks me, Danny, how do you become successful in our marketing and successful as an entrepreneur, successful in life, I'll say, okay, you got to master sales. You got to master the skill of sales. If you can't sell, you're not going to be successful. You got to master the skill of sales. You got to master the skill of leadership development, and you got to master the skill of setting up a team. You got to master the, but even if you master skills of sales and leadership and team building, even if you did that, you really got to have the right philosophy. And from there, what you have to really master after that is creating a culture. Without creating a culture, you may be able to get you to do something, but it's the culture in your team that's going to get a lot of people to do it. And remember, people do what the culture makes them do a lot more than what you teach them to do. If everybody in your team's doing it, and if they join the team, and that's just the culture of the team, then that is the best way. That's the best way to get your people that join your team to do what you want them to do. Does that make sense to you? So you got to master sales. You got to master leadership and development. You got to master team building. But you really, really have to master creating a culture. And if you can master these things, it's amazing, man. Every person that joins your team, it doesn't matter how negative they were. It doesn't matter how unproductive they were, how lazy they were. It doesn't matter I don't care if they tried 20 businesses in the past and they failed. If you could create a culture of success, if you could create culture of productivity, if you could create culture of winning, every person that joins your team could do what your culture makes them do. Does that make sense to you? So I want you guys to master this game, man. And it's not that difficult. And here's another way to look at it. Here's a question. What if it took you? What if you consciously working on yourself? What if you consciously making the effort? What if it took you 6 months? What if it took you 6 months, focused effort, every day, you depositing the thoughts, activities, habits, culture, doing this, you know, making a sale activity, team building, recruiting activity, leadership activity, you know, just what if it took you 6 months to create a habit? What if it took you 6 months to create a culture? What if it took you 6 months to master the game? Would it be worth it? Once you master it, how long would it benefit you? You know, I was talking to some of my friends that I worked with for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, some of them even 20 years. Last night, you know, at the office, I was with a couple of our staff till like 2 a.m. in the morning. And we were just talking about how, you know, some of the people I've been working with, they've been working with me 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you know, even longer time. And just like many of you guys are commenting in now, some of them I could see, I could remember. Yeah, it took them a year. Yes, it took them 6 months. Yes, some of them took them 2 years. But it's been benefiting them for the last 10 years. It's been benefiting them for the last 5 years. You know, I've helped and I've got to work with. I got to work with so many friends that made multiple 6 figures, multiple 7 figures. And I have a couple of friends that made 8 figures in, you know, last many years, you know, working together with me. And many of them, you know, what's exciting is I look back, they weren't good in the beginning, just like me. You know, I shared yesterday on this call that I recruited my first person. She quit the next day. It took me 9.5 months to get my second person. It took me 10 months to get my first $58 check. You know, why? Because I didn't know how to sell. Why? Because I didn't know the power of our subconscious. I didn't know the power of our subconscious. I didn't know. I thought I was making decisions to run my life. No, you don't. No, it's your subconscious. I didn't know. I thought if I made a decision one time, oh, boom, then I've changed. No, you gotta consistently repeat enough to reprogram my subconscious. You know, I didn't know that, right? So I didn't know a lot of that. I didn't know sales. I didn't know leadership. I didn't know team building. I didn't know creating culture. I didn't know how to change my habit. I didn't know that. And it took me a long time. It took me 9.5 months to take the second activity. It took me a couple years to get it. But once I got it, which was back in year 2002, once I got it, it's been serving me well for the last 18 years. And it will serve me well for the next many decades to come. So if it took you 6 months to get it, if it took you 1 year to get it, would it be worth it? Yes or no? If it took you 2 years to master it, would it be worth it? Yes or no? If it took you 5 years to master it, would it be worth it? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. And the beauty of being part of GPS, beauty of working with leaders like we have on this call, beauty of working with leadership team that we get to work with, I'm telling you, you stay with us, you stay consistent with us, and you become part of this culture. It would not be possible for you not to win. I know many people out there trying to win out there, but trying to win, a lot of times you won't win. But if you're with the right team, and if you're in the right culture, it's not you trying to win. I like to put myself in a position where it's impossible for me not to win. How many of you rather put yourself in a position where it's impossible for you not to win rather than you just trying to win every day? That's the team you're part of. You stay consistent with us. Every time there's an opportunity, a Zoom conference call, presentation led by Mr. Michael On, or many other incredible leaders we have in the team, you stay consistent in personal development. You know, some of you probably remember if you've never listened to this program, I would highly recommend it. Cultivating an unshakable character. You could just look at this and you could tell this CD set is old. I mean, I remember the days where we used to put CDs in places like this, like, you know, you can't fit in one CD because, you know, the CDs weren't big enough space. You know, law of process, which I absolutely love. John C. Maxwell's law of process. Think about, just think about how big this is. It's not a book. You know what this is? Yeah, it's a cassette tape and a video feed. I mean, if I let you borrow this, you probably won't even have a player to play it. Unless you got a classic car. But you know, it's fun, man. It's fun. Put yourself, you know, this is a winning team. You know, some people hate on other people winning. To me, that's crazy. I celebrate when other people winning. And in our case, I mean, to me, it's like, let me give you an example. And once you understand this, your confidence about your future is going to go through the roof. If I went to a soccer field or a basketball field, whatever sport you like, if I see two teams playing and this team is winning big time, I mean, they're winning by 50 to 25 on a basketball court. And I have the choice. I just showed up. I showed up a little later. I have the choice to pick a team and go into a team. Here's what I know. If this team wins every time, if these guys win every time, and they're winning right now, how do I make sure that I win the game that day? You join that team. You join the team. You join a winning team, you're going to win. Can I promise you guys something? We've been winning. We've been winning for a very long time. And we're winning right now. Even the GPS is a new opportunity. But, you know, for me, not last 4 business projects in my 19 years. My first year wasn't successful, as I've shared with you earlier. But last 19 years, 4 business projects, we've been winning every time. You could drop me off in Las Vegas, you could drop me off in LA, you could drop me off in New York, you could drop me off in Japan, you could drop me off in Korea, you could drop me off anywhere. You could drop me off, you could drop off Mr. Michael on anywhere. I've seen him, I've built with him in many different cities. You could drop off, you know, Mr. Mark Isaac anywhere. You could drop off Mr. Steve Hyun anywhere. I've seen him build in New York. I've seen him build in LA. You know, you could drop off many leaders that are leading the team. You know, you could drop off Mr. Robert Griffin, Chica Griffin, anywhere. I've seen him build in Las Vegas. I've seen him build in Dallas, Texas. You know, I've seen Mr. David Nieves build in Las Vegas, in Dallas, Texas, in Salt Lake, Utah. I mean, I've seen him build in Latin America. I've seen him build in Korea. I mean, I remember hanging out with Mr. David Nieves when we were in different businesses together, and he was in a different business project, and I was in my previous business project, and we will get together in Korea, And he had never been to Korea. He doesn't speak the language. He doesn't know the culture yet. And he doesn't know anybody, but man, he was determined to build a team. And I've seen him build a team. I've seen him build huge organization. You know, and it's amazing. And even right now, as GPS is starting, you know, do you know that Mr. David Nieves right now has an incredible team being built in America, but he also has an incredible team being built in Korea without him even physically traveling there. He has a tremendous team being built in Korea right now. Isn't that exciting? Why? Because they're winners. They know how to win. And you have joined a winning team. And if you're part of a winning team, you win. You know, if you're part of a winning team, you win. Why? Because that's what this culture does. We win. We produce. We produce sales. We produce leadership. We produce leadership and we produce results. And we produce success. If somebody asks me, Danny, what are you mastering? I'm telling you, it's the culture of making sure that everybody we work with, and whoever gets in the team, whoever gets in the culture, they win. Because we put ourselves in a position where it's impossible for us not to win. And to wrap up this GPS, Good Morning GPS week this week, I thought the best message I could share with you is to let you know that you're part of a winning team. And we already have a winning culture. And every day we're going to improve. Every day we're going to improve our culture even more for all of us to win even bigger. So I want you to know that you're not by yourself. You're not on your own. We got your back and we're going to win together. And we just want you to master the craft. But I want you to master the craft within the team, within the culture. So after working with us for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years of time, that you absolutely become a master in creating the results that you want in your life, where you get to a point where you design your future, nobody else. You determine what your next year is going to look like, nobody else. You controlling what your this month, this year results going to be, nobody else. And that's what we want you to master. That's why Mr. Jim Rohn said, hey, I want you to set a goal to become a millionaire. Not for the money, but for what it will make of you to achieve it. That's why I love looking at the recognition chart and look at people's progress. Because the results will tell you that, hey, it's becoming influencer 5,000, becoming influencer 1,000, becoming influencer 10,000. It's what it will make of you to achieve it. What it will make of you to achieve it. So anyways, this week, talking a lot about recruiting, talking a lot about sales, talking a lot about leadership development, talking a lot about tracking your numbers, creating your numbers, talking a lot about designing your life, talking a lot about monitoring every day with your team of the activities, and really understanding your numbers and being consistent with your numbers and growing your numbers. Hopefully it helped. So I want to spend some time answering a few questions since it's our last call here. Wow, it's a long question. Hold on. Yeah, so so somebody was asking in a short version that, hey, are we planning to have more video, like a promotion video? The VR product is so cool. Is it gonna more, can we have more trainings like a VR sessions, and showing more VR content and are we going to be looking for more teachers teaching as well as entertainment service? Answered yes to all of them. Answered yes to all of them. You just got to look at what you see right now. Just think of it like right now. We opened last month and you already see all that in the United States. We've been working with our production team. We've been working with our marketing team for a short few months, and that's what you already see. So think about, if that's what you already see in a short few months, think about what you're going to see next few months. And, I could tell you, even watching VR Routine, You know, their production 6 months ago and their production today is way better. Why? Because now they've done it, you know, hundreds of times more, right? So, you know, we're all going to be improving. We're all going to be doing, yes. Jarek, I'm blessed to have witnessed person. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Jarek also got to spend some time with me in Korea, and he knows, you know, that's awesome. All right. So if you got any other questions, I'm just reading through the comments here. We want to go through it. Norman shared a quote, for things to change, you have to change. I agree with you 100%. So let's see, any other questions? Let's see here. Let's see. If you got any other questions, last questions, you're welcome to open your line and share as well. But if you want to chat, put it in a chat box. I will try to answer as well. I'd love to hear about the company's 5-year vision with AR and VR. Okay, Eric, I'm glad you reminded me of that yesterday. We kind of talked about it. What is the 5-year vision? Okay, let's talk about it. Now, how many of you, I'm just curious, how many of you were familiar with VR space before you heard about GPS? Oh, not many of you. Okay, some of you. How many of you really got into VR and started studying VR, and you're very intrigued by the whole thing after kind of being exposed to GPS? How many of you? Okay. Oh, many of you. Okay. You know, so now let me, here is how I truly look at what's going to happen in the next 5 years with this, you know, with the whole VR industry. I look at VR. It's impossible to understand the industry without looking at the history, because I believe the evolution of different technology, the technology itself is different, but the process is the same. And history repeats itself. You know, history always repeats itself with current technology. You know, that's how I believe it. So 2 evolution ago is the TVs. And the TV, remember, your screen was only this big, but it was like almost fatter. It was deeper. It was like, you know, nowadays, like our TVs are like this thin, you know, but it's like TV started like that, right? You know, and from there, you know, black and white to color. And from there, it got thinner and thinner, plasma and LED, and later on now UHD and the QLED and OLED, and they're like super thin, you know. And you know, and that's the evolution of TV, right? And phones were the same. What is it? Was it Saved by the Bell or yeah, Saved by the Bell? Zach Morris. It was that Saved by the Bell. A brick phone, we used to call it. Brick phone, like, you know, it used to be like this big. Remember? Like, you know, it was like $2,600, $2.60 a minute. You know, from that to, you know, what we see as a very thin, small, you know, light, smart device that you carry today. So it's the evolution. So VR space, yeah, it started with wire. It started with just putting in the phone in a casing, and now started coming out with these all-in-one devices. And the next version is going to be wire, not putting phone in the devices, but it will be very thin, comfortable wire to your phone until the device can start picking up its own 5G or 6G internet service. You know, enough data speed to stream and do what you want to do. So, you know, it's wire VR devices to try to just build a casing to build devices, mobile phones, to now all-in-one. And from all-in-one, as all-in-one devices develop into a thinner and thinner version, but the all-in-one ones gets difficult, and it's going to take some time, next couple of years, few years, to get thinner and smaller. You know, somebody said, man, why is the device so big? Well, because it's all in one. You know, it has computer in it. It has a fan in it, so it doesn't get hot. It has battery in it. You know, it has a Wi-Fi in it. It has the Bluetooth technology in it. It has the full operating system in it. It has to have the 3D environment, 360 environment lens in it. It has all that stuff in one. It's all in one. That's why it's you know, it's a big experience. But that gets thinner every year, and to make that thinner, and some of the glasses coming out next year and the year after are going to be wired but connect to your mobile phone. But you have a full-on glass experience. That's the next evolution of that technology. And after that, I believe that there are going to be a lot of glasses where you literally have a SIM card in it. So you have internet data cell service in it. And that's when I talked about it the last couple of days. It will replace many people's phones. It will replace many people's phones because it has a SIM card. It has a cell phone capability. It has internet. And they're going to obviously have the technology be good enough where it looks like just regular glasses. It looks like just regular sunglasses. And as you're wearing it, and you could literally take a phone call, you could literally, so the hardware side of it, it's going to eventually turn into a space where it's going to look like glasses. And after that, I truly believe it would turn into, it's going to be like contact lenses. I know we've seen it in movies, and you may think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, those technologies, I've seen studies, I've seen different models, I've seen different prototypes of so many of those things already being developed. So it's a matter of time. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And what I'm excited about, when we talk about VR, I get so excited because our opportunities are not going to be short. You know, if Yo-Yo just came out today, we're promoting it, the opportunity created in the Yo-Yo industry may be only 1 year. If we just launched a certain product, you know, and you've seen it in the past, right? You know, in the past, you know, sometimes they focus on a product, your opportunity is so short. I think somebody's got their line not muted. Here, let me help you. How do you do that? Thank you. So, you know, opportunity is short. So as an example, in the past, right, 1 year, you know, will be like this type of a diet product. Oh, this is the best diet product. But the whole company's built around that. Next year, it's not the trend again. You know, 1 year, it's like the blueberry juice. 1 year, it's like the noti juice. 1 year, it's like the like a mangosteen juice. And 1 year, it's like the elderberry juice. And 1 year, you know, but when your opportunities kind of built around that, right? You know, it could be hot for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 years, but, you know, you have never seen like a certain product in nutrition, like a juice or, you know, certain ingredient or whatever, where it's like 10, 20 years, it's the hottest thing. No, but I'm telling you, this space that we're getting into with VR, next 10, 20 years, you're going to see this thing evolve, and all these developments are going to happen, and we're going to have so much to do. So on the hardware side, it's going to be like that. On the software side, that today we're watching, you know, our 3D movies or our VR Lou experiences and our VR games that you could download in the App Store. And then you go to the App Store, there's only, you know, dozens of apps, you know, because it's a smaller platform. But I believe there will be as many apps on VR platforms as we see on our regular cell phone app store today. That's what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Everything we do, everything we've done on TV, everything we've done on cell phones, we'll be doing it through these glasses. That's the easiest way to put it. And I talk about it whenever I talk about the opportunity with the new person. 3 industries that GPS is positioning you to win with. 3 industries, 3 huge industries. 1, VR technology that will develop to VR, virtual reality, you going into virtual space. AR, augmented reality, bringing in digital object, bringing in objects, virtual objects into your reality. Mixed reality. Your reality and my reality being mixed in one setting. It almost could look like hologram, you know, that we've seen in movies. Having hologram calls. Your reality, my reality mixed reality. You know, and XR. XR is like VR and MR with experiencing. Like when you go to the movie theater, you know, you have the 3D and 4DX and you know, you got the air and you got the, can I tell you, so one of our trainers on Master Academy, VR Lou, he owns a company called Ocon. And he created 80% of the most popular animation characters and movies in Korea. And he also owns a VR company. He owns a VR company called 2H, and you can look it up. It's called Real Cinema, which is the patent technology that they developed. The key CEO that he hired and the crew that he brought on board to develop 2H and the contents they're developing with 2H, the person that he hired to be the CEO of that company was the tech director for a movie called Avatar, tech director for a movie called Avengers, tech director for a movie called Pacific Rim, tech director for all these movies, all right? And he recruited him. He knew how to build a team. He recruited him and the crew to be the executive team of 2H, all right? So they've been working on this for a few years. And as they've been working on this for a few years, oh, by the way, when you start seeing a Korea Master Academy VR Loop contents, and when you start studying it, and you will see that gentleman that I'm talking about, the CEO, the chairman of 2H, he has we actually have a full Master Academy courses with him. His name is Il-ho Kim. You will find him under VR Loop, okay? And he teaches animation, he teaches business. So you could sit in his boardroom and experience him having a board meeting, him doing a meeting with his marketing team and coming up with ideas and having ideation session. You could actually watch that and experience that. But also there is a section where he talks about VR, and he's CEO of 2H. He's VR company, who used to be the tech director for Avatar and Avengers and Pacific Rim and all these movies. He's on our VR Loop program. He teaches and he talks about the future of VR, and it will be very powerful for you to watch it. I'm not sure, I gotta check. I know for sure sometime this month, you're supposed to be able to see all the subtitles for the Korea classes, because all the subtitles were done. It may already be on there. I'm gonna double check today. But you know, it's on there. But I can tell you what they're doing is more like XR. Starts with VR, but XR. Why? Because they're building the hardware simulators together. I've been to their office. I've been to their shop. I've been to their lab, right? And I've been to their conference. And you go in and you wear the whole thing. You wear the whole suit. It's not just the device. You wear the whole suit. Oh man, he's so exciting. Mr. LaTroy Caesar is opening up his Pico right now. Congratulations, he literally just opened it up. Congratulations, man. So, you know, you put the thing on, but you know what else? You wear the bodysuit. And you know what else? What they're building, the simulator, is it's connected to a thing. And I got to try a game, and we got to try this game. In this game, you're in the helicopter, and it makes you jump off the helicopter. And you feel like you're flying. And because the bodysuit is all connected to the simulator, it will literally pull you off the ground. You're in the air, and your legs and feet are not touching anything, and you feel like you're flying. And as you're flying down, the simulator has fans. It has fans blowing wind at you, like you're really falling. You just jumped off the helicopter. And even walking on the floor, I mean, he has a set of simulator where, and you're fighting with these aliens, and you're walking, taking a few steps. The floor moves, and it made it feel like you're walking in the middle, on sand in the middle of this. And as you're fighting, and they're shooting, and all these gunfire happening, all these fire happening, they had the heat, like a heating machines that put out heat to make you feel the heat. And the whole experience, the simulator, the whole experience ends with a giant dinosaur alien eating you. And as it eats you, and you see it eat you, okay? And as it eats you, your bodysuit wraps you like and hugs you hard like you're being eaten. I'm telling you, every person that experiences it, I mean, they scream like you can't even imagine. They're tripping, they're freaking out. But that's the future. That's XR. That's the full-on simulator. And what they're doing is they're going to be putting simulators like that all over the world. And mainly with movie theaters. Their goal is to put it in every single movie theater. Why? But imagine this. Yes, movie trailer on your phone is cool. But how great would a movie preview or trailer be if you could be in the movie for 3 minutes of time? What if you're in the movie Avatar for 3 minutes of time? What if you're in the movie Mission Impossible right next to Tom Cruise for 3 minutes of time? Would that be a better preview? And they're actually making it. I've seen their deals. Well, I've seen what they're working on. They got deals with, I mean, major companies, right? Fox, Legendary, and Lucas. I mean, film. I mean, they got deals, and it's not just an idea. No, they've been building this company for years. They're starting to roll it out later this year, next year. You're gonna literally see the XR experiences happen everywhere. I know today is something that I'm talking to you about that you haven't experienced, but let me tell you something. In a year or two, it will be a normal thing that everybody will be experiencing. And we already agreed on having a lot of those contents on VRLoo too. As they make a lot of these movie previews, as they make a lot of these experiences within the movie, we're gonna offer those in the future on VRLoo. So the content side of it, and the experience of VR and AR and MR and XR, more you understand it, you will truly understand that, hey, dude, this opportunity is not just about the Pico device. No, next 10, 20 years, we're gonna have so many opportunities in the field that we're in, it's not even funny. You know, so understanding that is important, but really understanding also within this is hardware business, good. Content business, very powerful. So 3 industries for us: VR equipment and whatever equipment, AR, MR, whatever equipment comes out at the time that we can market, that's gonna be big business. But people do that because of the content. We start with Master Academy right now with VRLoo. That's good content. We're adding all these contents on. But as I mentioned, a lot of these movie experiences, contents we're gonna have later. We're adding a lot of animation and movies this month. We're adding karaoke content. We're adding games. So I could promise you every month you're gonna see more content on VRLoo. So the content game is powerful. But really the biggest play is the commerce. Biggest play is the commerce. Most amount of money, TV was expensive. Monthly TV subscription was, expensive over time. But I promise you they spent more money in watching QVC infomercials and spending money from advertisement. Buying a phone was expensive, spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money paying phone bills and apps, but you definitely spend more money, mobile commerce on Amazon and Alibaba or eBay or wherever it may be. On Groupon, you spend more money in commerce. Our device is the same. Yeah, a few $100 for a device. Yes, some money every month over time, a lot of money in content, but biggest money will be in commerce. And it's just like one of the gentlemen earlier, Dan, asked about, hey, promotion videos and the products. Yes, in the future, I promise you, the EVP experience is going to be created by GPS because majority of the commerce experience won't be watching an advertisement video or explanation video of 30 seconds or 3 minutes on a regular TV screen or a phone screen or computer screen. No, it will be experience before purchase where you have a 360 3D experience. You have a virtual reality experience. You have an augmented reality experience before you commerce. That's what's going to make GPS so unique. And that's what separates us from everybody else in the game. Nobody is doing what we're doing right now. So this space, there's so much. I mean, if we had 3 days to talk, if we did a 3-day workshop, guys, and talk about everything we see, because the last 10 months, every day I'm breathing and I'm breathing and talking and thinking and spending time studying and spending time with the most experts in the industry about VR and AR and the technology every day. So, I wish we had 3 days to talk about it. We don't have 3 days to talk about it. However, but that's what we're doing. So, all right. So probably a longer answer than you wanted, but there it is. So it's already 9 o'clock. I just want to make sure that I answer all the questions because this is the last call, of GPS. Good morning, GPS today. Anybody else have any questions before we wrap up here? I'm just so fired up. Here, hold on. Is there a monetary incentive to refer master trainers to VRLoo for the Finder? And yes, answered yes to both. direct message VRLU, and they do a proper interview process and see if they will fit into the program now or maybe better later, and they go from there. But answer is yes to both. Okay, I'll tune in for a 3-day workshop in the future for VR industry. You know what, Toby, that's a great idea. You know what, later we will schedule a VR workshop, and I'll bring some experts in of the VR industry and actually, you know, talk a lot about, have a whole discussion about VR. We'll do that. That's a good idea. How do you change the CC information on the site? You could log in and do it. You could definitely log in and do it. If not, you could email us and our customer service will reach back out to you and help you to do that as well. Is there any remedies for motion sickness? I start feeling nauseous after 20 minutes of use. Well, you know, majority of people don't using, and if you're not used to using it, you know, just use 2 minutes of it, and more you get used to it, you won't. Let me explain motion sickness. 2 reasons why you could get motion sickness, all right? So 2 reasons, 2 ways to do it, and here's how you avoid it. Number 1, you know, our current device, Pico device, it's you focus by, you know, the focus, there isn't a button for focus. There is not a, like some VR devices where you could like turn it to focus. No, this one, you gotta move up and down to focus. Not like this, like, but up and down. So you gotta find the right focus for your eyes by just moving it up and down, okay? You'll find the optimal focus for you, okay? So, and after you do that, you know, really it's very simple. How people could get motion sickness, how people could get dizzy is this. If what you see does not match with movement, that's how people get motion sickness. That's pretty much what happens. So that's why when you're feeling car sick, they tell you to, you know, pick a spot on the ground or whatnot, or somewhere far, and keep looking at it. You know, and if you pick a spot, if what you see and what you're feeling, the moving is same, then it gets rid of motion sickness. So sometimes in the beginning, if people are not used to VR, now, and it depends on what content you're doing. Some apps are not developed that good. You know, if you go to the App Store, some games, they're not developed that good. If you're doing VRLU as the main majority of experiences, you shouldn't feel motion sickness as long as you have the right focus, and as long as, you know, you're sitting down or you're settled down to watch it and experience it. So that's the key. You know, anytime your movement and what you see is off, you know, you could feel motion sickness. You know, some of the app developers, some of the game developers, not our stuff, but, you know, just opening the platform, could be not so great apps, and they may give you do that, but, you know, just make sure that you have the right focus. And if you're not used to it or you're more sensitive, yeah, just start with 10 minutes a day. Increase it, 15, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. I used this so much last 10 months. I mean, I've done 6.5 hours straight and I'm fine. You know, so, you know, it's good. You definitely get used to it. So, all right, in wrapping up here, does everyone, so does everyone start with 500 BV? So every customer, yes, VR device is 400 BV. And the VRLU subscription is 100 BV. That's correct. So everybody starts with 500 if they're a customer or influencer of a VR set. And from there, if the subscription continues for them, yes, there's 100 BV for the subscription. And BV is only roll over from the leg if it wasn't used to cycle. So obviously, it's impossible to not be used if you have it in both sides, right? So, you know, that's how it is. Yes. Do you have teachings on sales training? Do you provide permission to record your webinar trainings? Yeah, if I do Zoom, it's open. You guys will record, it's fine. Also sales training. Yes, you know, a lot of our calls, a lot of our trainings, depends on what it is. A lot of times I teach sales. And also there is a course that I've done on VRLU, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about sales, and talking about communication, talking about leadership. So if you haven't watched it yet, definitely go watch. I've done 10 classes in English, 10 classes in Korean on VRLU. So I will highly recommend that you take advantage of that as well. Okay, so yes, can you wear your prescription glasses at the same time you're wearing your headset? Answer is yes, Dan. So that's why it's kind of bigger. So if you're wearing glasses, just wear it over it, and that's how you're supposed to do it. All right, so wrapping up here, tomato juice for motion sickness. Jeremiah, what a great advice. Tomato juice for motion sickness. Next time you promote VR, make sure that you offer tomato juice with it. All right. So I think that's pretty much it. I looked at everything in the chat room. Anybody else have anything to say before we wrap up? Wrapping up our, oh my gosh, Mr. David Nieves. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Hey, hi. Wow, you're beautiful. Amazing. Wow. Your dad's famous. Yeah, everybody in the world watches your dad. Okay. All right. So, hey, all right. Anybody have anything to share? Mr. Michaelon, Mr. Mark Isaac, Mr. David, or anybody? Anybody want to share, anything before we wrap up here?
No, we
God
just
bless and have a safe 4th of July is correct. Yes, go ahead.
No, just wanted to say thank you so much. We appreciate you doing this with us every morning this week, sir. Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun for me. Hey, I know you guys all have amazing teams and leaders you guys work with. Anytime I could do anything, just know that I'm here. You guys feel free to message me on Instagram, probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. And I'm telling you, man, and yesterday we got somebody into our U.S. corporate team, management team yesterday that we got on board yesterday. I'm so excited about. And we got another person that's joining our team on Monday that I'm so excited about. So while I'm here, I'm spending a lot of time doing our executive team building, our management team building in the United States to make our corporate team even stronger. And we just got a lot of good things happening. Somebody just asked what my Instagram thing is. It's Danny Bay Asia. I think that's what it says. So go search Danny Bay Asia. You'll find me. I got to find a way to change to Danny Bay Global. I used to only work in Asia, so it says Asia, but I got to change that. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. All right. God bless everybody. Have a happy, safe 4th of July, everybody. Be blessed, everybody. Keep crushing it. Keep influencing your subconscious. Keep creating your habits. Keep checking your numbers. Set daily goals and create a culture and absolutely control your life and win in a big way. So God bless you. We'll see you guys very soon on another Zoom call. Let's have a great July. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Charles.
Thank you very much, Danny B. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Great job. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at the sauces, there's sugar in it. You look at everything.
Thanks, Mr. Bay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bishop
sir.
McLeod. Always a good seeing you, sir.
You as well, always. Much love.
Mr. Bay.
Thank you, Mr. Frederick.
Thank you, Mr. Bay and Mr. On and Mr. David Nieves for the great nuggets always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gracias, mi
Somebody
hermano.
asked if-
Bendiciones.
Somebody asked if there's an 8 a.m. call tomorrow. No, we don't have one tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, 4th of July. Enjoy yourselves. Everybody stay safe, too.
Thank you, sir.
You too. Thanks for the week you spent with us there, Mr. Danny.
Thank
Like
you.
one.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Mr. Larry. Hello,
Thank you,
Renata.
Danny Bay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We good for Monday morning call?